Everyone thinks the Nextbase 622GW is the easy top pick because it shoots 4K. But here's the thing, resolution alone won't save you in a real incident because what matters is stability, clarity in bad light, and how fast you can pull footage when you need it. I tested the 622GW for 3 weeks across city gridlock, highway runs, midnight streets, and early morning fog, and what I found flipped a few assumptions. Yes, it's premium. Yes, it has party tricks like Alexa and what 3 words, but the real story is how it handles motion, weather, and the not-so-sexy details that make or break a dash cam when the worst happens. Before we dive into what I discovered, quick heads up. If you're already leaning in and want the best current price, I've dropped the link below. But stick around because there are 2 quirks that could change your decision and a feature I didn't expect to actually rely on. Here's why I even needed this. I've had cheaper dash cams miss plates because of microshake, glare, or night mush. I had a near miss last fall where the other driver swerved and my old cam gave me a watercolor painting instead of evidence. That was the breaking point. I wanted clear plates at city speeds, good night visibility, and fast access on my phone without wrestling with a clunky app. I tried a couple of budget 4K models that looked great on paper but smeared detail on rough roads and took ages to transfer clips. So I grabbed the 622GW 4K at 30 FPS, 1440p at 60 FPS, 1080p at 120 FPS, image stabilization, enhanced night vision, extreme weather mode, Alexa, and what 3 words baked in, and went in skeptical. At 249.99 and an average Amazon rating around 3.5, I expected some cracks behind the gloss. Day test first. Midday sun, traffic at 35-45 mph. In 4K 30 FPS, the 622GW produced genuinely sharp results. I could freeze frames and read plates at around 30-40 feet with confidence, and the image stabilization dampened the high-frequency vibrations that usually turn detail to mush on cobblestones or patched asphalt. But then I switched to 1440p 60 FPS to see if the higher frame rate would help on fast merges. It did. Motion blur dropped, and on a 60 mph on-ramp, signs and plates stayed more readable frame to frame. Trading some resolution for smoother frames is worth it if you do a lot of highway. Night test next. Streetlights, rain-glossed asphalt, and oncoming headlights. The enhanced night vision with the larger pixel sensor did a solid job. Shadows held detail and the camera balanced bright headlights without nuking the rest of the frame. Oncoming plates at night? Still tough, as with almost any consumer cam, but trailing vehicles and cross-traffic at intersections were legible more often than not. But here's where it gets interesting. The 1080p 120 FPS mode. It's niche, but for analyzing quick events or impacts, the super slow motion playback helped catch those micro moments when someone cuts in. Fogged-in morning test, extreme weather mode promised to help see through mist using inbuilt algorithms. I ran it twice across a low-lying river road. It's not magic, but it does improve edge contrast on vehicles and lane markers, making the scene less milky. You still get reduced distance visibility, physics is physics, but the clips were more usable for identifying brake lights and hazard flashers ahead versus standard mode. Rear coverage. I paired a Nextbase rear module. With the 622GW, you can keep 4K up front and record 1080p at the rear at 30 FPS. That's key. Cheaper systems often force you to drop front quality when you add a rear camera. Parking lot test. Someone rolled a shopping cart into my bumper. Intelligent parking mode kicked in when hardwired, captured a 20-second clip, and I pulled the footage right away. App and transfer. Hypersync dual 2.4/5 GHz Wi-Fi and Bluetooth pairing was quick on my iPhone and a Pixel. On 5 GHz, a 30-second 4K clip took around 8-12 seconds to transfer in my tests. A 1-minute clip took roughly 25-30 seconds. That's miles better than the sluggish apps I've used. But then I hit a snag. On the Android phone, the My Nextbase Connect app flaked once and needed a relaunch. Not a deal breaker, but it echoes some of those 3.5-star reviews. Firmware update and formatting, the card fixed it for me. Mounting and usability. The click-and-go magnetic mount is excellent. Power routes through the mount so you pull the cam off with one hand when you park. The 3-inch IPS touchscreen is bright and responsive, but the unit is chunkier than minimalist cams. Heat. It got warm during a sunny 96-degree day but didn't shut down. Note, the The 622GW uses an internal battery for emergency file saving, not a supercapacitor. Long-term in very hot climates, a capacitor-based cam might be more robust. GPS and safety features. The 10HZ GPS locked fast and the speed overlay matched my instrument cluster within about 1 mph. What 3 words is embedded offline? I tested by toggling data off. The camera still displayed the 3-word location, which is perfect when you're stranded with spotty service. Alexa is here too. I used voice to lock a file hands-free and to get directions without touching the screen. Not essential, but nice to have. My biggest surprise? The stabilization. Marketing talks about 4K, but it's the image stabilization plus better low-light processing that actually preserved plate detail in real motion. I logged about 700 miles over 21 days and the clips were consistently usable. Compared to a Viofo 4K unit I used last year, the Nextbase delivered steadier frames over rough roads and better parking mode reliability when hardwired. Is it perfect? No. The app can still be picky on certain Android versions, the body is larger and the battery design isn't my favorite for extreme heat. But the combination of 4K clarity, 1440p 60 fps flexibility, genuine night improvements, and fast 5 GHz transfers is the package I was hoping for. If you're thinking, sounds too good to be true for a 3.5-star product, here's the context. Many low ratings call out early firmware and app hiccups, or people expecting Magic Night plate reads from oncoming traffic. Real-world physics applies. Set it to the right mode for your drive, use a U3 microSD. 128GB gave me roughly 4 or 5 hours of 4K loops, keep firmware current, and it performs like a proper premium cam. Now that you know stabilization and night performance are the real differentiators here, you'll want to snag it before prices swing or the rear modules go out of stock. I've linked the best current price below, plus the hardware kit I used so parking mode works the way it should. Bottom line, the Nextbase 622GW is a premium dash cam that earns its keep if you value stabilized 4K, strong night handling, quick phone transfers, and safety extras like what 3 words in parking mode. Buy it if you commute daily, drive rideshare, road trip often, or deal with fog and bad weather. Skip it if you're on a tight budget, live in extreme heat year-round, or want a tiny, minimalist unit. For most drivers who need reliable, evidence-grade footage without tech headaches, this is the one that finally matches the marketing. Set it up right, and it just quietly does the job when it matters.